So hello, good morning to all of you. Yeah, it's lovely to have you here again. Yeah, on another Saturday morning, right? So today, as always, I'm going to start with a poem or a phrase or something. And this one, I want to talk about the dragon, right? So once upon a time, there was a dragon that was separated from its parents at birth and was lost. It was raised among farm animals, learned to eat grass and walk through the fields like other animals in the farm. And one day, an older dragon flew over the field, yeah, and saw that baby dragon below and flew down and grabbed the dragon, took him way up high in his jaws, and was holding it up high. Yeah. I'm saying it by myself because I like it so much. So if you're following the words, you're saying, what happens? You got lost somewhere. But the dragon takes this baby dragon way up high. So up high, where the houses look like toys. And then the elder dragon opened his mouth and released the baby dragon. And the baby dragon started falling to the ground, screaming, oh, why is this happening to me? Why me? Why me? And just before hitting, the dragon picks him up again and takes him high up again, flying high up in the sky. And then again, drops the baby dragon. Oh, why me? Why is this happening to me? This is horrible. Why? And again, and again. And this horrible ceremony is repeated several times, again, till suddenly the baby dragon, furious, frightened, spread his wings with a roar of fire and flies by himself for the first time, transforming for the first time in his life into his real self. This dragon's first contact with his true nature is called the roar of the awakening. It's like awakening. So how many times does the same happen? The same happen again and again. And it's the same and it's the same. Until you awaken, you'll continue in that same pattern. And then I saw this as well that I wanted to share. When it's time to make a change, the universe will put you in such an uncomfortable situation that you will have no choice to get out of where you are. When you're not happy in that situation, don't stay in a denial phase trying to make it all work. The world has better plans for you. You just have to trust the process and do your part to align yourself with the things you really want. The rest will be history. Right? It's like surrendering and letting go, right? Anyway, so I'm very happy to hear you all today. So this week, it was chapter 2, week 2. Now, it's typical because you're just starting to have resistance. So some of you are battling with the morning pages, others with the tasks, some with the reading, and others have curiosity to go to the next week, right? Well, it's a routine. It's gradually you start getting used to this routine. So some of the tips that Julia says, she says, just follow the steps and it works. And it's true, it works. Just follow the steps, right? Stop looking for long periods of time. Oh, I need to have all Saturday morning to do my work. Oh, I need to have all afternoon. No, spare moments you have, just do the work and advance gradually. Now, always be nice to yourselves. And this is like, we're so hard on ourselves. Oh, I don't have time. I'm not doing it good enough. And during this course, we're going to learn to be nice to ourselves and let go to demanding high standards, as if you're on a MasterChef course, right? So let go of those high standards and start being nice to yourself, okay? So it works, yeah? It works. But what happens? Yeah, well, we're already on week 2, but you know what? By Wednesday, I read and I started doing the exercises yesterday before today because we're going to have the call, right? It's okay. But if you do it this way, it's easier. So what happens? Suddenly it says, oh, write 20 things you like doing. So just write them. And then maybe during the week you have, oh, I remember I also like this, or I remember this. So it's just doing it. When it said, write 5 monsters, just write 5. And then during the week, the real monsters will come out. There's a technique we use in hypnosis, a confidence one. So before doing the hypnosis, I say, remember a time when you felt confident. Oh, I remember when I got this prize. Okay. When you do the hypnosis, most of the times they go to another memory, which was better than that one, okay? But if the person who's going into hypnosis has that memory, you already have something there, so it's easier to go deeper. Let's see if I'm explaining myself. If I don't tell them and I just do the hypnosis, go to a time when you were proud of yourself, conscious mind comes in, oh, come on, when were you proud of yourself? And it gets you out of the state. So if you already have something, yeah, okay, I'm going in, I know that memory. When you really go in, you will go to a better memory. So that's why I want you just to do the homework. 5 people, just write 5, in 10 minutes, so-and-so, so-and-so, and so-and-so. But then other people will come, all right? So just do the homework, allow yourself just to do it más o menos well, but during the week, you'll be able to go deeper. So it helps take away the blockages, right? So I don't want you to be demanding. It's not the thesis. I don't want you to get stressed about the homework, right? Just do it and allow yourself to do it badly, because then you'll be doing it better, right? So what's happening is this. Many times we've been in a comfort zone, yeah? In an uncomfortable comfort zone, yeah? And we tend to like being in the known, what we're familiar with. Even if we have issues, even if it's uncomfortable, well, it's what we know. Because going to where the magic is, well, we don't know yet, it's unknown. However, when you start realizing, okay, I want to change, right? And, Einstein says, if you want to change, don't continue working at the same place where you started, yeah? So many people want to change, but they do no change, so you can't change, right? So what happens when we start changing, and this Joe Dispenza explains, okay, I'm going to change, right? Now I'm going to choose whatever. And you start changing, yeah? And it's like crossing a river. And it starts feeling uncomfortable because you're in the unknown. So before, you were in a comfortable, where everything you knew exactly what would happen. And yes, it wasn't nice, but you knew it. But when you start coming out, all kinds of things start happening. People, it's like, okay, I'm going to leave this job. Let's say you're in a job that you don't like, but you get your salary, so you're comfortable in an uncomfortable zone. And you say, that's it, I'm going to resign. So you go to resign and suddenly you say, hey, but we'll pay you more. And you say, okay, and you come back. But there's like this challenge to go through to be able to get to the other side. And there's magic there, right? So this is the challenge. And this is, in this process, during our work, you're going to start feeling uncomfortable because you're going to start noticing you are changing. Other things will be triggered. And it's just being you going through this river to go to the magic, right? So we spoke how the brain is uploaded with our behaviors, there's body memory, and the brain works with a certain program, okay? So you have Apple 10 or whatever as a program, right? So now you want Apple 12, right? But you haven't uploaded it. So you're trying to do these changes, but the brain doesn't like it. Has it happened to you? You suddenly get a new phone, okay? And the new phone doesn't have the button below, right? So you automatically, when you're not realizing, you do what you did before with the phone, yeah? Or the way the app was working before when you're not thinking, because you have a program. You have a program. Let's see, let me give you another example. When you have a shower, you go into the shower and you do everything exactly the same. When you come out of that shower, you're clean. You've washed absolutely everything and you're clean, okay? But if I were to tell you, okay, from now on, you're going to start with your right shoulder, then your knee, you go into the shower, okay, Carmen, I'm doing this because I really want to change. So Carmen said it's the shoulder, and you have to be really present when you're having a shower, right? And the brain, your program, doesn't like it. So after 2 or 3 days, will distract you with something, and you'll go into the shower and have a bath the same as you've always had it. You go back to the pattern you had before. So when you're in this change, it feels uncomfortable. And then the brain will say, oh, come on, you've already done the morning pages 3 days. It's okay. Today, just do 2. Just do 1. Oh, nothing happens if you don't do it today. And it will go back to a pattern before. But through your morning pages, there are changes. And as we go through this river, as we feel uncomfortable, please continue writing. write everything you're going through, because catharsis is going to happen. Yeah, because it's change. And there is change, there is catharsis when you are changing, all right? Fears will appear, unpleasant memories will appear, and we go running back to the uncomfortable zone where we were before. It's like we were in AM, we're trying to go into FM, and it's awkward, and you don't know how to move in FM yet, and you keep on going back to AM, right? So this is interesting. So we are in the 5% of our brain, the 5% of the conscious mind, right? The 95% has the program, okay? So you want to change, it's on a subconscious level, right? And the brain waves, yeah, to be able to go into the subconscious mind, yeah, there's psyche, hypnosis, plant medicine. There are many ways where you can go into that space, yeah. But when you're in theta and alpha levels, it's easier to have access to do changes, right? But most of the time we're in beta, right? In that 5% of our brain. Here, you're in 5% of your brain, okay? When you meditate, you can also enter the conscious mind, right? So I explained this to you before. Anita Moorjani says we go around life with a torch, entering a dark library. And with that 5%, we want to solve everything. All right, so I have so much money, I can buy this, I can do this, or I have this, I can do this, or with this situation, I can handle it this way, I can do it this way. And we go around life trying to solve things with this 5%. Yeah? But if we let go, and what's starting to happen is we're going to start to have access to the whole library, especially in the morning pages. Synchronicities are going to start to happen, and other solutions to problems or situations that arise will be solved in completely different ways, right? Now, this is beta level, is how we are now, we're talking. But then there's high beta, and high beta is when you're under stress, okay? So what happens when you're under stress? What happens to the body when you're under stress, right? You know, you've got time issues, you're under stress. And this is so fascinating, yeah? So we start having time issues, stress issues. Then, you know, it's like you have lots of little things to do and you never have time for the important things. You tend to procrastinate. Sometimes you start avoiding things because of fear. Or then you have like the last minute pressure motivation, like, oh, I've got to finish it tomorrow. So you do it and you finish it tomorrow. And one of the reasons why we have these last minute motivations, it reduces the self-criticism. It's fascinating, that, isn't it? When you understand why you leave things to the last minute, because you stop criticizing yourself, okay? So imagine, yeah, if instead of worrying about things, let's say you're with friends and you're making a pizza, okay? So you're with your friends, you're having fun, you're being creative. Oh, let's put this in, and let's put that in. You put different ingredients because you're playing with your friends, right? Now you put it into the oven and you forget a bit and it burns a bit and suddenly, oh, and you start feeling, I think my pizza's burnt, right? So you take it out and half of it is burnt. So you scratch up what you can and maybe you reinvent it and you say, let's put it on some toast or some crackers or you know, just thinking, being creative, finding a solution to the matter, but you're having fun, yeah? And all of you together are cooperating with this burnt pizza. And maybe you end up all calling Domino's Pizza, yeah? But you're having fun with whatever happens, right? But what happens if you're making a pizza and you're in Master Chef, yeah? Well, you've got all the stress because that pizza has to be perfect. So from the very beginning, you're under stress. And sometimes we go through life this way, under stress, right? And when we're under stress, oh, I wanted to share this. So this is a project I have of some paintings that I'm doing, right? Of the labyrinth. And I am very judgmental with myself, right? And I'm saying, no, it's not good enough. So I'm a bit like on a Master Chef program, yeah? So I'm judging, no, I can't get my feeling through. And I am battling with myself, right? My expectations, what I think others think of me, and I'm going so slowly, right? Well, suddenly last week, a friend of mine who has a lodge, a yoga lodge, said, you know, one of my rooms, somebody took a painting that they had lent me, and there's no painting there. And I said, come on, Kurt, I'll do a painting for you. I'll give you a painting next week. And then when I left, I said, why did I say that? why did I say, I'm going to give him a painting in a week? I'm just going to stress myself. What on earth do I say? But then I'm a person, when I say something, I keep to my word, right? So I'm thinking, what am I going to do? So in 3 days, here it's like MasterChef program, right? It's the voice criticizing me. It's just me criticizing myself. I have the voice of, come on, Carmen, connect to the emotion. No. Which of my thoughts is stronger regarding this project? Well, you've got to. Which one do I feed with my thoughts? My fears? Oh, I can't do this. I'm not good enough. Or come on, Carmen, just keep on trying, a step at a time. Just go a step at a time, right? So you've got these two voices, right? Anyway, so in 3 days, I did a painting, right? The interesting thing here is I started observing myself. How can, it's me and it's painting, it's the same thing. Why would one painting, I'm advancing but slowly, and the other one, I just did it in 3 days and it was so much fun. So here the phrase says, the highest form of human intelligence is to observe yourself without judging. And I invite you, all of you, and write it in your morning pages. Whatever you're going through, observe yourselves and don't judge. Yeah? Don't say, oh, you're a bad mother, a bad friend, or whatever. Yeah, just observe from outside. And when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. I know you're waiting to see the painting, aren't you? I thought I had it a few slides before, but here it goes. Isn't that beautiful? Yeah. I did that in 3 days. I know, it's amazing, right? And I did it in 3 days, but what happened? I was playing, yeah? There was no judge, there was no voice saying, and I thought, whatever I do, he's going to like it because it's a gift for one of the rooms. I mean, only the people in the room are going to see it. So there was nothing between me and the painting. I was just having fun, right? And Beto, you recognize, because I took that photo for you for Kuka. Yeah? And from that photo, yeah, I did the painting, right? So it's so interesting, this. We have blockages. We have fears. How can I do a painting in 3 days and I'm 6 months working on the other? Because I was playing. I wasn't afraid of making mistakes. And it's for a friend, I mean, whatever I do is going to be grateful because he needs a painting in one of the rooms. Yeah. So no expectations, just having fun. And I did it in 3 days. Yeah? And that's when we see each other in 1 hour. I did a Zoom of this area here, right? So with the other painting, I'm in a MasterChef program and it's just me. Yeah? And in the other one, I was playing. Wouldn't it be nice to do our things playing? Whatever project we have, play and have fun and enjoy it. Yeah. So last week, I mentioned the biology of belief, and he says how our thoughts are so important, right? How we create our reality through our thoughts. And I invite you always to observe yourself. It's you, the same situation, but it's completely different. So why do you give force to one thing? And so just observe, be nice to yourself, yeah? And you can, when you change the way you look at things, you can change, right? So I want to explain what happens to the body when we're under stress, okay? So one thing is time, and this book was talking about how if we have time or we don't have time to do things, or where our time goes. But another thing is stress. So when you're under stress, you're in high beta, right? We are now in beta, but when you're in high beta, you can't be creative. You can't take, a good, let's say, you have to decide or solve an issue. You can't when you're in high beta because you're in alert. What happens to your body? I want you to understand what happens to the body when you're under stress. Yeah? It's called fight or flight mode, okay? And so let's imagine that standing in front of you is a crocodile, okay? So you have a crocodile standing in front of you. The first thing you do is you freeze, right? And if the crocodile moves a little bit to that direction, you'll run. And if the crocodile comes towards you, well, you're going to have to fight the crocodile, yeah? So when we have this situation that causes us stress, which there are infinite possibilities of situations that cause us stress, our body, all the energy comes to your arms and to your legs, right? So people who live under stress for long periods of time, many times end up getting ill, right? Or they start having problems because your body isn't working properly. Your immune system is always in alert, right? So you have all this energy in your heart, arms, and your legs, yeah? And even if it's not the crocodile, any situation that causes you stress, right? The first thing that is affected is your immune system. So, you know, like if you're under stress and you want to get pregnant, well, you can't. If you're under stress and you want to digest a delicious chocolate cake, you can't, yeah, because you're under stress. So stress is a major factor. So you have time, but you also have stress. So reducing the stress, it's easier to administrate your time, okay? So I found this fascinating. Depression, you have a little bit of dopamine, no serotonin, and no oxytocin, right? When you're anxious as well, yeah? So I want you to notice how here, right? Let me just close these windows. I'm sorry. Here, you see with when you're anxious as well, there's no of these hormones, right? Okay, I find this really fascinating. So these hormones are happy hormones. They produce chemicals that make you feel happy. They rewire yourself with these hormones, okay? So happiness is serotonin. Love is dopamine, serotonin, and oxytocin, right? So we saw that when you're depressed or anxious, there are no love hormones, right? When you're happy, you've got serotonin. Love, you've got the three of them, okay? So if I were to tell you, okay, your skin is dry and you put cream on and that's it, your skin's not dry anymore. Okay, so if I were to say you're stressed or anxious, oh, we'll use some happy hormones and they go away, yeah? So if we see different hormones and how they affect us in different ways, we are going to focus on these happy hormones today, okay? And if we have a low budget, we're going to start with serotonin because at least we can be happy and then we can go into love. But first of all, let's start with being happy. Yeah? So dopamine, it's called the reward chemical, right? So when you finish something, activities that you do with personal care, eating, celebrating small victories, okay? Yesterday, I finished a painting, yeah, after 3 days. My dopamine is high, yeah? So you finish anything, yeah? You finish a website, you finish reading a book, right? So finishing things, even small things, produce dopamine, right? So coming to the next one. So as I said, we have a low budget to start off with because we're feeling a bit depressed, a bit anxious. So let's focus on serotonin. And serotonin is a mood stabilizer. And it says meditating, running, sun exposure, walking in nature, swimming in cycling. So if you do any of these things, you can notice how it's easier for you to cope with any situation you're going through, right? So meditating. There are many ways to meditate. Your morning pages are a meditation, yeah? I want you to love your morning pages, especially when you're going through difficult moments. Even more, use your morning pages, okay? They will help you go through whatever you're going through, right? And this is what I call an espresso meditation. For those of you who find it difficult to meditate, well, one, you just sit down and you make yourself comfortable. You close your eyes and you take 3 deep breaths, right? Then you listen to your heart. And by listening to your heart, you become aware of going within and you feel the heartbeat. You smile when you recognize the heartbeat and you just remember and visualize 10 things you're grateful for and you tune into gratitude. So you can do that in the morning, anytime, wherever you are, because many people say, oh, I can't meditate because my mind gets so distracted. Well, this is an espresso meditation, which works beautifully because you tune in to things you are grateful for. And you can say, I'm grateful for my bed. I'm grateful for my breakfast or whatever. Another way is listening to audios. There are many audios. I don't know if I sent all of you or not, but I have a relaxation audio. Those of you who've had sessions with me, I've sent it to. So I'll just make sure I'll send it to the group so you all have the relaxation audio. Yeah? Nature. That's one of the most beautiful ways to meditate. Just listening to the birds, seeing a sunset, feeling the breeze. Nature is a beautiful way to relax and to calm your mind. And then we have oxytocin. Oxytocin is the love hormone, and when we are in love, everything is easy. Right? So playing with a dog, playing with a baby, holding hands, hugging a relative, giving a compliment. And it's so easy just to give a compliment. Oh, thank you, that was nice. And just to think that saying that produces oxytocin. Yeah. So when you're aware of things that produce these happy hormones, yeah, well, use them. And then we have endorphin. And endorphin, laughing, yeah, essential oils, seeing a comedy, black chocolate. I'm a chocoholic, so like that's on my list, yeah. And doing exercise. So seeing a comedy, well, sit down and watch a Charlie Chaplin film or anything that makes you laugh. You don't feel like laughing because you're depressed and anxious, but watch a film that makes you laugh because it starts lifting up your hormones, okay? So there are many ways we can work on ourselves to get out of depression, anxiety, which keeps us stuck, which makes us lose time, right? Because when we don't feel like doing anything, we don't feel like going for a walk. I'll send you a screenshot of this one as well, of the happy hormones. Okay. So that's the thing. Isn't that fabulous? Yeah. How you can tune in to help yourself start feeling happy. And what we're doing in this course, we're connecting to that little girl, that little boy, to remember what happiness there's just in these bubbles, yeah, and how much laughter and fun there is. And this is what we're doing. We're rescuing a child in us whom we have been the worst parents to, yeah. And we're going to allow this part of us to come out, play, and have fun like I did these 3 days with that painting. So Eddie Cantor says, slow down and enjoy life. It's not only the scenery you miss by going too fast, you also miss the sense of where you're going and why. So on this journey, we're going to enjoy where we are and what we do, but we're also going to feel uncomfortable, okay? But it's this shift, it's this change, right? So going back to the brain, okay, so the brain is for having ideas, not holding them. So at night, if you're spinning with something that is worrying you, at night when you go to bed, you also enter alpha, then theta before you go into delta, and you're very suggestible. So if your head is spinning with something you're worrying about, you're going to worry about it all night, yeah? And you're going to worry about it and worry about it. So write it, get it out of your head, and think of it solved, or think of it in a different way, yeah? Or visualize if it's, I don't know, if it's like a relationship, or it's any situation that is bothering you, just visualize with that person smiling, getting along, and go to bed with that, yeah? Because in the end, we create our reality with our thoughts. So even if you feel you're lying, just go to bed with that thought, not with the problem, right? And if necessary, just write it out so that it's not spinning in your head. At night, you're so suggestible, you're auto-hypnotic, yeah? And what you think of before you're going to bed is very important. So imagine yourself having resolved it and having the idea. Go to bed feeling grateful and feel and choose to feel good, right? When you choose to feel good, self-acceptance, be aware of your thoughts, notice thoughts and feelings, let go of rating yourself. I mean, I do that all the time. Well, not these last 3 days, but I tend to. Yeah? So be comfortable in your own shoes, practice gratitude, forgiveness and compassion. We are all imperfect, and we're doing our best. Yeah? Separate from the emotion, see it from outside. So when you get lost in this emotion, the situation you're going through, see it from outside, see yourself from outside, see how you're reacting to it. Yeah? And be nice to yourself. When you disassociate, you observe. And I invite you all to observe yourselves. Right, so in the book, there is rules for the road, right? So it says, show up at the page, use the page to rest, to dream, to try. And I want you to have fun with this course. Don't take it as the Master Chef course. Oh, I don't have time. I'm going through difficult situations. If you are, well, more than ever, you need to take the course, okay? So set small and gentle goals and meet them. Remember that it's far harder and more painful to be a blocked artist than it is to do the work. And here in number 5, Well, that's exactly what happened. I allowed myself to make mistakes. I just had fun. I'm going to have fun. Whatever comes out here. I allowed myself to have fun. Yeah. And it is easier to have fun with no expectations and just enjoy. And I had so much fun. Well, even I couldn't believe how nice it was. I mean, even I liked it, which is like really something serious. Okay. Anyway, so I'm not going to read all of them because they come in the book, right? So one of the tasks was, where does your time go? Where does your time go? Facebook? YouTube? I don't know. Where does your time go? And make a list of top 5 activities this week. How much time have you spent on each one? And what were the things you wanted to do? And what were the things you had to do? What part of your time is spent helping others and avoiding your own desires? Have any of your blocked friends made you doubt? It's interesting, yeah? So start observing, okay, we're seeing things from different angles. How does your day go by? Oh, I don't have time. Yeah, but why don't you have time? What do you do? Because if you want to have time, you'll have time, yeah? If suddenly I were to ask you, hey, can you come over? We're going to do this for an hour, or we're going to tune into Zoom, you'll be there. But then can you give that hour to yourself? It's like making an appointment with yourself, okay? I love this from Albert Einstein. Stay away from negative people. They have a problem for every solution, okay? So start avoiding sharing things with people who are not going to help you. Right, so the other task was who supports you, and to be self-protected around yourself. So who supports you goes in the middle, and who doesn't comes outside. And she talks a lot about these crazy makers, yeah, and how we surround ourselves with people who just don't help us. Later, I'm going to share with you work of Marta Salvat, which talks about the mirrors and how people who come into our lives are mirrors, and we have the opposite, we have the similar, we have the transgenerational. I'm going to talk a lot about that, and how people who come to lives have a message, and how many times, like, we finish a relationship and the next person who comes is the same, just with a different name. So it's like, what is the message? What do we need to work on? So here, with Julia Cameron, we're working on these crazy makers. And what do we benefit with these relationships, and how they block us in different ways? So what are we learning from this, all right? And then she goes on to say, creativity is often blocked because we collaborate with the plans that others have for us. Okay? As block creatives, we focus not on our own responsibilities to ourselves, but in our responsibility to others. We tend to think that this behavior turns us into good people. It is not true. It makes us feel frustrated. And this is what she writes. And then there's this task which I had mentioned finishing last week, right? 20 things you enjoy doing. Now, what we're starting to do, just thinking of things you like doing, guess what? Produces happy hormones. Just the thought of it, okay? So when you write a list of 20 things, I shared that first day was difficult. I wrote 3, then I wrote 2 more, and by the end of the week, I had 30, okay? So the inertia of life takes us from one thing to another. Suddenly we find we're in a long relationship. Suddenly we find you've been all your life in this particular job. And then you remember, oh, I love doing calligraphy, or I love doing, but during the journey, you forget. So by starting to write 20 things you like doing, yeah? Oh, I like dancing. Okay, well, when was the last time you danced? Oh, I like playing tennis. Well, when was the last time? 20 years ago, I don't know. And start remembering, and just remembering, just this exercise produces happy hormones. Yeah? And choose 2 of them. So if you haven't played tennis, go play tennis. If you haven't danced, go dancing. Yeah? And then she talks about the affirmative readings, to read. Now, this is hypnotic, just reading them. Yeah? You're reminding yourself, tuning into that, right? And from week 1 of those affirmations, choose 3 and just write them 5 times. This is hypnotic. It's like recording it into our subconscious mind. Right? And then we went back to 5 lives. other 5 lives that if you had, you would have liked doing. And I thought, I would have liked to be an architect. Yeah, that was another life I would have liked to do. And all these things, just imagining it, is producing happy hormones. So these exercises, which seem so simple, yes, but we need to understand how they're starting to support us in many ways. Right? So last week, you wrote 5 lives, and this week you're going to write another 5 lives. Now, this exercise is fascinating. It's called the life pie, okay? So you divide it between spirituality, exercise, play, work, friends, and romance, right? So this is the center, this is 10. How are you with each of them? And when you fill this exercise in, oh, well, you can say, oh, there's no romance and adventure, yeah? Oh, I need to do more exercise or see more friends, or, oh, I seem to be a bit unbalanced with work. And so when you see this, you can work on it and decide, well, I need a bit more of this, and you can start balancing out your life. It's a beautiful exercise. And if you do it now, and then later on we do it again, it's interesting how we can start changing. But if you don't notice it, if you don't observe it, you can't change anything. But you can realize in which part of your life, oh, you could do with a bit more working and tuning into it. Yeah? And then she mentions another homework, which was 10 tiny changes. I would like to, and here, I would like to what? What would you like? And just write it. The first thing that comes to your mind. Yeah? And here, what we're starting to do with these exercises, we're starting to enter subconscious level without doing hypnosis, without doing psyche, without doing many other things, yeah, just by doing these exercises. But you have to write the first thing that comes to your mind. I would like to, I would like to, yeah? And select one as a goal for the week. So we're starting to change things, and we're starting to do things we like doing, but that we really like doing, and we've forgotten about completely. Yeah? But above all, I want you to believe in yourselves. Yeah? But really believe in yourselves, because you're amazing. Yeah? And your artist date. What have you been doing for your artist date? Okay, so continue with your artist date. Right, so week 1, we had a sense of safety. Week 2, a bit of identity, but now we're coming into power. Yeah, we're going to start moving things. And I wanted to remind you again, gradually you'll start fitting into this rhythm. Yeah, if you haven't, don't be nice. Be nice to yourself. It's okay, but just try to enter this rhythm because it will make it easier for you. Sometimes you're traveling, sometimes you're moving, sometimes whatever. Yeah. You're on holiday, I don't know, but just catch up, and it's okay. Just catch up. Continue. I want you to read week 3, your morning pages, your exercises, your artist state. Think of your goal and do not share it. Something else what I wanted to say about the paintings of the labyrinth where I feel stuck. I've shared it with everybody. Everybody knows I'm doing these paintings, which is terrible because they come, hey, how are you doing with the paintings? Which just tunes me into, oh, I haven't done anything yet. Don't share your project. Keep the energy of your project until you've got it done, right? The painting, yeah? If I had said, hey, I'm doing this painting, no, I did it and I shared it, okay? So do that. Please keep the energy of your projects, right? Now, this week, with a sense of power, I want you to realize this. This week, you may find you dealing with unaccustomed bursts of energy and small, sharp peaks of anger, joy, and grief, right? This book is triggering things, okay? I just want you to be aware and to be nice to yourself. So you're coming into your power as the illusory hold of your previous accepted limits is shaken. So you're starting to shake the way you were previously. And you're starting to enter your power. You're crossing the river and it feels uncomfortable. You will be asked to consciously experiment with spiritual open-mindedness, okay? So emotions are triggered. If anything really strong triggers, just call me, yeah? Because they do. They start happening and it feels very uncomfortable. This week, you're going to be starting to work with anger. So anger can be triggered. Also synchronicity, shame. There's going to be an inner growth, dealing with criticism and a bit of detective work, okay? So each week things are triggered, but you're working on them, okay? Be nice to yourself always. Continue with your morning pages, all right? And we're at a time of change, yeah? And it feels awkward. It's like having a shower in a different way. So we're starting to feel different, but then synchronicities are happening. Nice things are happening, yeah? So allow them to happen, yeah? Now, does anybody have any questions? I love seeing all of you here, yeah? So does anybody have any questions that you'd like to share? Anyway, so just to finish off, going back, now that I see Gabby here, because I hadn't seen you before. The thing is, since there's a row, I only see a few, I don't see all of you. So now that I see you, Gabby, yeah. With this, going back to my painting, I'm going over it again because so many times we have blockages, yeah? And it's not just, I'm not just telling you, Gabby, I'm telling all of you. It's just I'm saying hello to see you. It's not directly to you, yeah? But to play, it was like recess time, it was like break. There was no voice telling me anything. I was just having, for hours went by and I didn't even realize, yeah? Non-stop there playing, you know, making myself a cup of tea. And then I put a program on that I was watching and it was just me and the painting having fun. There wasn't a single time the voice came in to say, Carmen, you can do it better. Oh, come on, Carmen. Why did you do the flower that way? Why did you do that? Yeah. I just had 100% fun. And wouldn't it be lovely to live life that way? And then whatever you create is out of fun. Yeah. That the hours go by and you don't even realize it. Yeah. And on the other project, which I'm so passionate about, it has the mud of the labyrinth. It has blinds. I want it to be a portal that when you look at it, you connect to the labyrinth. It means so much to me, but my expectations of myself paralyze me. Yeah. So I've learned a lesson this week that I wanted to share with you. Have fun. Have fun in everything you do. Don't judge yourself. And if you do, just notice it and write it in the morning pages. Yeah? Observe yourself without judging. And when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Okay. Anyway, lovely. I hope you all have a lovely week. Don't leave everything for Friday. Start doing things before. Okay. And lots of emotions are going to move because we're starting to work on anger. We'll be working more on anger the following week. Yeah. But it's going to start working a bit, triggering, because anger is a thing that we don't normally allow ourselves, especially, you know, like when we're such nice people. Yeah. But it sometimes builds a bit inside. Okay. So do your homework, please. Be nice to yourself. Oh, Zaza. Yeah. So be nice to yourselves, right? And have a lovely week. And if you need anything, just call me. I've been speaking to most of you over the phone. There are a few people that I'll be calling this week to check how you're doing, right? So I'll organize that for next week. On Monday, I'll be calling you to see when we can talk. So I want to know how you're getting along. Okay, so love you all loads. Take care. Bye-bye. Let's say stop.